Fortunes against Denmark makes his return to the First Division. After missing 4 games through injury, Glenn Hoddle is back in a Spurs lineup which features the return of 3 more familiar names. Gary Stevens replaces Paul Price at centre-back, Alan Brazil is preferred to Garth Crooks in attack, and Steve Archibald is named as substitute, even though he's still on the transfer list and still in dispute with his manager. The home team Watford have a new face, 18 years old Lee Sinnott, a defender signed a week ago from Walsall. Sinnott makes his debut, and he's the only change from the team which won 4-0 at Stoke a week ago, John Barnes having recovered from the hamstring injury he sustained at Wembley. Today's referee, Arnold Challoner of Maltby in Yorkshire. So Watford get us underway, attacking from left to right. Tottenham distinguishable by the white socks. Good early header from Callahan, and then by Riley. That's aimed at Brazil, and he was pushed away by Terry. Hoddle stroking it out to Brook on the right. Good interception by the new boy. Perryman. Glenn Hoddle will obviously take some time to find his form. Houghton. Abbott fouled by Jobson. Houghton. And Brazil. Perryman. Came through to Falco almost by accident, and his shot measured along the ground just wide. Perryman with the initial run. It was an unlucky deflection from Watford's point of view that gave Falco the shooting opportunity, and he drilled his shot just wide. Stevens in higher than Riley, and that takes some doing, considering that George Riley's 6'3". Roberts higher than Barnes. Stevens doing well. Now Lohman, the new Watford captain. Tested Clemens, but he reacted superbly. Jackett's header. Sinnott forward, and that could be a difficult one for the Tottenham defence. But Clemens, as ever, a great bosser of the defenders around him, and made absolutely sure that was his ball, and they knew it. Hoddle. Brazil, what a good turn, and again. But perhaps guilty of dwelling a little too long on the ball in the end. Houghton. Barnes taking it superbly. What a fine run. He's gone all the way, Rostron, and finishes in style. Wolf Rostron's first goal of the season, but he'll be the first to say that it was the skill of John Barnes which earned the opening. He took the ball down beautifully, went on, Rostron appeared, went clean for the heart of the Tottenham defence, and scored with style. 13 minutes gone, Watford 1, Tottenham 0. So Spurs, on a happy start to the season, continues in the bottom 5 at the start of play with only 5 points from 6 games. Now already a goal down, to the delight of that man in the hat, Elton John. by Stevens. Not a great deal of pattern about Tottenham's attacking. Now Callahan. Good first-time ball for Rostrom. And see how quickly Watford get men forward. He had 3 options then. In the end, he turned it against the Tottenham defender. And only a throw-in resulted, but had the ball been more accurate, Tottenham would have been outnumbered. And that's Watford's strength. Barnes winning it well, and away by Hoddle. It's just not coming off at all for Tottenham in midfield. Callahan finding Palmer, who did well to keep going, and finds Barnes. A fine turn, a very good tackle by Perryman, who's in there again. And the counter-attack led by Falco, but not a good ball. And how well the Tottenham skipper, Steve Perryman, did for his side then. A vital tackle, and then an important interception while still lying on the ground, denying Watford. Roberts. Galvin. Now Mabbott. Not a good ball, though. Falco. Jobson's tackle. Tottenham's throw. Here's Falco. Now Hoddle making space so well. Well, the shot really didn't match the initial twist of the hips, but it was good to see Glenn Hoddle showing that kind of style to get away from the defender, open up the shooting opportunity, while the shot itself was disappointing. The end of a rather disjointed first half. A disappointing one for Keith Burtonshaw. A patternless game, and only 1 goal scored by Wilf Rostron. Watford fully deserving their 1-goal lead at half-time. Well, I don't know about always, but certainly in this game, and Spurs with only 1 league win to their credit, with a lot to do in this second half. And Watford have made a substitution during the interval. Jimmy Gilligan, the 20-year-old striker, has come on in place of George Riley, who suffered an ankle injury. It is remarkable that with the youngest defence ever seen in the First Division, Watford have looked untroubled for the whole of this game, really. There hasn't been one moment when Spurs have really threatened. The average age of the Watford back 4 is around 20. And of course it includes today an 18-year-old debutant in Sinnott. Terry's clearance straight to Galvin. Lohman's clearance. Back kick comes from Roberts, and now Barnes. Greater determination in that first tackle by Roberts. But Barnes has got the pace, and Roberts the determination to reach it first. Brazil. Now Mabbott. There's Hoddle. Newton well forward. And wins the corner. Callahan's challenge. Here's Hoddle. Good effort. And not far off target. The corner short for Hoddle, who pulled it onto his right foot and along the ground, wide of the goal. Graham Taylor hoping his side will find their form here on Wednesday, when they must pull back a 3-1 deficit against Kaiserslautern in the UEFA Cup. Tottenham also involved in Europe this week. Here's Rostrom. Now that's an interesting moment, and Rostrom goes down, and Perryman's challenge, and the referee says no penalty. It was a clumsy challenge, certainly, from Perryman. Was there any ill intent, I wonder? The referee said no. And that's a fine through ball for Mabbutt. He was unlucky then. He beat Sherwood's rather despairing dive, but couldn't get it between the posts. Forward from Rostron. And here's Hoddle. Good ball for Brazil. Good clearance though by Jacket. Now here's Jobson. Means Gilligan. Throw in. And that was an interesting moment really. Gary Mabbutt getting in behind the Watford defence. Sherwood quickly out to him, and as he poked the ball towards goal, it was always going wide. Barnes. Kane Stevens inside out, and Rostron's header. And how calm Hoddle was then. Rostron doing well again. And an angry moment right in front of the linesman and referee. And Steve Perryman clashes with Will Rostron. It's an odd thing that in this corresponding game last season, Steve Perryman was sent off, the only dismissal in 555 league games. And again involved in an unpleasant moment, this time with Rostron. Escapes with a ticking off. And just before that, Glenn Hoddle in the penalty area showed remarkable calmness to take the ball on his chest and clear it, and Tottenham were again under pressure. So Callaghan with the free kick. Flick on and oh! Well, once again then, Tottenham were lucky not to be punished. As Lohmann came in at the back, the little flick on the near post found him unmarked in space, but he was right underneath the shot. Mabbutt. Here's Falco. In space is Galvin, with Brazil to his left. A little deflection then from the challenge by Lohmann means a corner. Really driven in. Perryman. This is Hoddle. Brazil took it well. Oh, what a fine turn. What a goal that could have been. Sherwood just poking out an arm to turn it behind for a corner. But a lovely example of the close control of Alan Brazil. Took it down well, turned quickly, and got in the shot. Sherwood saved. Cleared by Jacket. Good through ball by Houghton. But Terry did well. Here's Brazil though for Tottenham. Galvin has Brook on the right. Terry's clearance. Galvin. Brook. Hoddle with a beautiful piece of skill. What a magnificent goal by Glenn Hoddle. He deserves those celebrations. 11 minutes gone in the second half, and the Glenn Hoddle that we know and admire so much is shown to perfection. Everything about that goal was glorious. The turn, the move into space, and at the end of it all, the chip into the far corner. A glorious goal. Watford won, Tottenham won, and Glenn Hoddle has marked his return to the First Division with a memorable goal. And Tottenham making the most of the slight slope and the slight breeze behind their backs, looking a different side in this second half. they win another throw. But really, it was pure invention like that that was so sadly lacking in England's display against Denmark at Wembley on Wednesday. A piece of vintage Hoddle, that. And Hoddle really put everything into that tackle as well. Brazil chasing, and he's through here. A mistake by Jacket. Sherwood, all credit to him for coming off his line so quickly. I'm not sure he knew a great deal about the save, but it was a mistake by Jacket. Brazil had the pace to make the most of it, went through, and the ball hitting the goalkeeper and going wide. Oh, and again Jacket was deceived, this time by the corner. Fine tackle by Perryman. Cheers from the Watford fans. They've been awarded a free kick, and Tottenham will use this opportunity to make their substitution. Off goes Gary Brooke, and on comes Steve Archibald. So the rift, for the moment anyway, is cleared. Transfer listed after that row with Keith Birkinshaw, who accused him of a lack of effort, but he's been training hard and playing well in the reserves, and is now back in the first team action. Steve Archibald. Up and under from Terry. Graham Taylor's seen his young side lose the initiative a little bit in this second half. Now Houghton, good interception by Lohmann. Tottenham might have had to pay dearly for that. Roberts. Now Galvin. There's Archibald lining up a shot. What a way to mark your comeback. Steve Archibald will think he's proved the point, and the Tottenham fans will agree with him. I wonder what Keith Birkinshaw will make of it. Well, he'll be delighted, obviously, because it could be the winner. Archibald receiving the ball in space. There looked no immediate danger as he took it on, but what a fine shot that was into the corner of the net. In the 84th minute then, Tottenham Hotspur take the lead. Watford 1, Tottenham 2. And the two returning stars, Hoddle and Archibald, the men who got the goals in a second half, which is a complete transformation from the first. Now, can Watford find the initiative to respond at this late stage? Brazil now. So much improved in this second half, Spurs. Here's Archibald. Through for Houghton. A good turn. And that's 3-1. And Archibald played an important part in it. But what a lovely goal by Chris Houghton, his first of the season. 2 minutes to go, and Tottenham looked threatening down that left-hand side all the time. Archibald, a lovely little turn, returned the ball for Houghton, and he went on and slotted it into the corner of the net. And Keith Birkinshaw, oh, the smiling Mike Varney, won't mind the rain now. Watford 1, Tottenham 3. And it looks as though Spurs have clinched only their second league win of the season. No smiles this time. Gilligan. Stevens bit back well. It's a free kick to Watford. Barnes. That could be a penalty, and it is. Roberts who has been involved in a few heavy tackles, this time chose the wrong place to do it. As Barnes wriggled his way through, it was a clear penalty. Callahan will take the kick and dispatches it firmly, sending Clements the wrong way. So Nigel Callahan coolly placing the ball wide of Clements, who dived the other way, and Watford get a second goal. Roberts, the sad figure to give away the penalty. Watford 2, Tottenham 3. Well, the supporters at Vicarage Road will not complain about the number of goals they've seen this season. 5 today makes it 18 in 4 home games. The best of all from this man, Glenn Hoddle. A piece of magic, helped by Steve Archibald with a goal and an assist, as they would say in America himself. And the Tottenham fans at last have something to cheer.
And not before time. 1 or 2 Spurs fans I've met have been almost suicidal, especially since Arsenal are showing signs of waking up. Well, Watford know only too well this winter is going to be harder than last. But Vicarage Road seems to be one place at least where even the most sophisticated young ladies are quite at home. Bob.
Well, that marvellous goal by Glenn Hoddle was only one of several that might cheer or perhaps embarrass Bobby Robson. The England manager was at Villa Park today to see another of his rejects against Denmark, Peter Withe, score the goal that ended...
Falco for Tottenham against Everton.
O'Reilly had stayed forward. Falco battling away well. Good effort. Oh, that's a tremendous goal.
2-2 at White Hart Lane 9 years ago.
Peters organising the wall. The referee looking as though he wants to join in. In fact, he wants them back 10 yards. But Hanekom can bend and did.
And Feyenoord went on to a 2-0 victory in Rotterdam and back with their own brand of coolly calculating skill.
Barnes taking it superbly. What a fine run. He's gone all the way, Rostrom. And finishes in style. Galvin. Brook. Hoddle with a beautiful piece of skill. What a magnificent goal by Glenn Hoddle. Now Galvin. Here's Archibald lining up a shot. What a way to mark your comeback. Brazil now. So much improved in this second half, Spurs. Here's Archibald. Through for Houghton. A good turn. And that's 3-1. Barnes. That could be a penalty, and it is. Callahan will take the kick and dispatches it firmly, sending Clements the wrong way.
But 3-2 to Spurs, and the win set up by an extraordinary goal by Glenn Hoddle. How could a player with such natural skill be left out of the England team, was the immediate cry from the Hoddle fans. But there are just as many who don't hold that view. As for Glenn himself, well, all he asks is for a fair chance. From the time of his England debut, which he marked with a stunning goal, Hoddle has won only 16 caps out of a possible 46. Sometimes he's been ruled out by injury, occasionally through club commitments, but more often it's simply been a case of non-selection. He's never played in more than 2 consecutive England games, and that, plus the relevant statistic that in his last 8 appearances England have won 6 and drawn 2, seems to back up Glenn's plea to be given a real chance. This week I went to see Glenn at... his Harlow home, and first discussion turned to that astonishing goal at Watford. Was it really meant, or was it a bit of a fluke?
It was no fluke, I can assure you that, but after I'd done the skill, the only thing I was really worried about was the size of the goalkeeper. I think it was about 6'4", and from the angle that I was at, there was no way I was going to, be able to sort of hit it with any sort of firmness and get it in, so the only thing that was on really was the chip.
Once you're in that position, you don't have to look up. You appreciate not only the position, but often the goalkeeper, in this case, Steve Sherwood.
Yeah, I think that's a thing, as you would know as a goalkeeper, you're dictated to where you have to go sometimes to cut angles down. And I've done it before where, you know, if it's from the edge of the box where you, instead of, you know, shooting with your toe down, sometimes you can side foot it from the edge of the box, knowing full well that the goalkeeper's going to be at a certain angle.
The Watford goal came a week after Hoddle had been left out of the Spurs side and, as a result, subsequently, the ill-fated England team too. What were his feelings?
Very, very frustrated. I thought, obviously, when Keith didn't play me in the Everton team, I knew that was virtually giving me no chance of playing for the England game. But I thought I would be on the bench, and not even to be in the action was obviously very frustrating, and the way the game went as well, it was murder sitting up there watching.
Although only Alan Simonson's penalty separated the sides as far as the scoreline went, it was the skill Jesper Olsen was encouraged to display which really fascinated Glenn.
I counted the first 3 times he got the ball, he tried to take somebody on, and it didn't happen. But he didn't get told off by any of his other players. And then he prepared to do it again, and eventually he was building his confidence up.
That's obviously very dear to your heart. You could see yourself doing exactly that same sort of thing.
That's the sort of things that I'd like to do, yeah. And you know, even in the World Cup, I've looked at games and tapes and things like that, and players sometimes have got a lot of ability. You know, it's not going to come off for them every time. You see them get the ball and they try it again, and if it doesn't come off again, then they try it again, and eventually, you know, they're the players that can do different things, maybe than the normal player. So they should be given the licence to do that. I don't really feel in this country that players have really given the licence to do that with the ability that they've got.
It's now almost 4 years since Glenn Hoddle made his England debut, a 2-0 win against Bulgaria, which he crowned with another special goal.
Wilkins. Francis, and here's Hoddle.
Now, presumably, Glenn, you need players alongside you who appreciate the sort of thing that you might attempt. I mean, I saw a couple of things at Watford, for instance, where people would have had to have known, well, he's going to try something out of the blue here.
That's all about a part of playing as a team, which is a big problem with international football, because we don't get the time together. But I'm sure if you ask the forwards at Tottenham, you know, Steve Archibald, Garth Crooks, Alan Brazil, Mark Falco, the lads that I've played with over the years, I think they'll tell you that, you know, there are occasions where they think, well, how did he get that in there? How did he give me that chance? And that's a part of playing with them all the time. They make runs when they know, you know, exactly what I'm going to do. It frustrates me when I hear people say, well, he doesn't play for Tottenham, for England like he does for Tottenham. And you'll never see the real Glenn Hoddle for England if that's the case, if I'm going to be in and out of the side. The game sort of comes a little bit easy to me. I know it might sound a little bit big-headed, but I don't really have to think too hard, really, when the ball comes to me, and I look casual. I've seen myself on tapes, and, you know, I do look casual, but it's because, really, the things come a little bit easy to me.
Some critics would say too easy, but Glenn, relaxing here with 9-month-old daughter Zoe, answers philosophically.
Everyone's got their own opinions, but I know, really, that I think I've been born a natural footballer. If people don't like the way I play, well, that's entitled. They're entitled to their, you know, opinions. But that's something that I'll hope to prove wrong in the next 5 years. If you look at the difference between McEnroe and Connors, McEnroe's got all natural ability and doesn't look as if he's working half as hard as Jimmy Connors does, who's really grunting all the time, running around as if you know, that's the last ball he's ever going to hit. Where McEnroe and Nastasi, to a certain degree, look as if they had so much time to play their shots because they're natural tennis players.
Putting you on the spot, Glenn, do you think you should be in the England team?
Yes, I personally think I should be, yes. But you know, obviously everybody likes to play for England, everybody wants to play for England. But I feel that you know, in every side in the world, if we're going to do anything, there's got to be players with skill and with flair. And, you know, the blend's got to be right in any team. But I feel that players like myself and Graham Ricks, them type of players, should be given a chance, because until we start matching teams that have got this ability, you know, we're not going to really be the nation we should be in football terms.
Well, on Monday, Bobby Robson names his squad to play in Hungary on Wednesday week, and that's a match, by the way, you'll be able to see live on BBC television.